Party leader, Mr. Branville McCartney and Mrs. McCartney. Deputy leader, Mr. Chris Mortimer and Mrs. Mortimer. My husband, Wendell, and my family members present. Party executives, delegates and candidates and their families. Young Democrats, where are you guys? Members of the clergy, members of the media, all you great Bahamians here and others listening by way of radio, television, and social media. Especially the great folks of the great and marvelous constituency, Marathon. I'll tell you one thing, a vote for Emily would ensure that you will have clean drinking water in Marathon instead of gas or oil in your water. Ladies and gentlemen, DNAs, good evening. There are some among us who feel no connection to our culture and our traditions. But that does not erase the fact that we, the people of this great country, have a long and a rich cultural heritage. Studies have shown that culture allows us to connect with certain core values and belief systems while creating a sense of community and belonging. The question is, how many of you actually know what Bahamian culture is? Not much. If I asked you, what is Bahamian? What would your answer be? What are the things that make us unique and special among our regional and international counterparts? There is a popular quote by famed Pan-Africanist Marcus Garvey, and he says, "A people without knowledge of their past, their history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots." Marcus Garvey was right. He was right. Over the past many years, we have watched a generation of Bahamians lose their way because they feel no connection to their past. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have seen over the last many years is an all-out assault on all things Bahamian. To our own detriment, we have allowed other cultures to dominate and to dilute our own Bahamian culture. When the DNA becomes the next government, this will change. The key to cultural appreciation is to start early. The DNA proposes the implementation of a culture curriculum at both the primary school and high school levels. This will include interactive and detailed lessons on traditional Bahamian customs, including music, folklore, and storytelling. As part of this enhanced curriculum, students will be able to explore our indigenous culture through the creation of our own visual arts, fashion, and other art forms, all of which will be curated into a cultural museum for future generations of Bahamians with a view to appreciate and build upon the foundation as culture continues to expand. As the next government of the Bahamas, the DNA promises to take the idea and implementation of cultural preservation seriously. In real terms, this simply means making the message of Bahamian culture palatable, not just for Bahamians, but to the wider global audience as well. Far too long, Bahamian creatives have been ignored and grossly underutilized in the promotion of our country and its culture. Through the creation of a vibrant orange or creative economy, the DNA will reposition the Bahamas to better take advantage of opportunities across the arts, heritage, media, and creative services, while creating wealth and opportunity for an entire segment of young Bahamians. It is estimated that the creative economy accounts for 6.1% of the world's economy, that translates into $4.3 trillion. The Bahamas, through the distribution of creative goods such as straw and shell work, as well as audio visuals, design, music, fashion, film, television, and the performing arts, stand to benefit from this multi-trillion-dollar industry. Let's talk about Junkanoo, for example. In order to fully gauge the economic potential of this form of cultural expression we call Junkanoo, we must first come to see it as more than just an annual holiday time parade where there are costumes. But rather, we must see the significant contributions that Junkanoo makes to our socio-economic development. Junkanooers are dynamic. They are dynamic musicians. They are great dancers, creative choreographers, talented set builders, and designers. Junkanooers are magnificent costume designers and performers, all of which on the global markets represent millions of dollars. We in the Bahamas have not taken advantage of what we call Junkanoo. But what will it take? In the short term, the DNA will ensure that Bahamian culture becomes functionally linked to popular media forms, including radio, television, and music, opening the door for widespread and worldwide propagation and proper exposure of Bahamian. A DNA government will commit to creating legislation that encourages the creation and the protection of the intellectual rights of Bahamian creatives. We must do this so that we, musicians, entertainers, artisans, we must do this so that we or they are better able to monetize their creative products. We must do it through increased collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism and entities like the Bahamas Film Commission. The DNA will create legislation to re-establish and support the local film industry. We'll do it through regional and international promotion as well. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past decade or so, Bahamian talent has exploded on the world stage in a major way. But we in the Bahamas have so much talent. We have an opportunity to ensure that the world begins to pay attention to all facets of what we call Bahamian culture. Let's take reggae. Let's talk about Bob Marley and Jamaica. Bahamian artists, including former secular artists like myself, have worked tirelessly to make rake and scrape, gumbe and Junkanoo music equally recognizable to the masses. The world is waiting. The world is watching. So we must act, and act quickly to preserve what is ours. Do you agree? DNAs, do you agree? My fellow Bahamians, I put it to you that before our nation can take advantage of the orange, we must first go green. Thank you and good night.